The Brother Guys Podcast, man.
What's going on, y'all? Jay Miller here.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Malcolm is important.
What's good? It's T-Rose. 3 T-Rose with 3 O's.
Live from Ratchet Studios every Wednesday.
Real pod shit.
Hey, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. My brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. Oh, we podding. We pod.
I don't know. I think we've talked about this off air, but I think this is a good thing to talk about. Who do you all know
that has been affected by mesothelioma?
that is known for and is their main job is podcasting, that is just known for podcasting, but they have a non-guest based unscripted podcast
That's not famous or anything like that?
that's not famous from anything else but podcasting.
Nobody.
Yeah, because everybody at one point or another, everybody's had a guest on or had guests on. I say the
non-guest based.
Guest based.
Oh, not guest based.
Yeah, meaning that's not your entire thing to have guests on.
I say Rory and Maul then. No,
But no, they were already known though.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Rory was working at Def Jam.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's true.
Maul is Big's little brother.
Big's little brother. Yeah.
So
Damn, that's a very good question. Huh?
He's working at Sony.
He was
it Sony?
Yeah.
I thought he was working at Def Jam too.
Maybe also, but I think he quit Sony.
I think he might have been an intern at Def Jam. I think that's what it was.
Otherwise, he had shit going on before that.
Oh, true.
He wasn't just
Rory, where was you working? Let us know.
Yeah,
I think it was Sony
Comment
though.
below.
I think it was Sony.
Probably was Sony, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, shit. Just podcasting and wasn't known until then.
Yeah, like that's like their entry into that world, into the masses, into having connections, into making larger money for being a creator was strictly through podcasting. Unscripted, non-guest based.
I can't think of anybody.
Let me look through my entire.
The only person I
podcast.
got that's coming to mind right now. He ain't got a podcast. Never mind. That ain't a podcast.
Everybody who's popping right now was a professional athlete, a comedian, a
Doing
rapper.
something different.
They had something that they led
somebody
into
had. Yeah, they had
An
some
author,
type of
a
promotion.
radio host.
Yeah.
They didn't start in pod and just went from there. Like I literally cannot think of nobody
Someone's
right
intern
now.
or stylist. Yeah. See, and this has been a conversation that I've been having with a bunch of people because I can't seem to find anyone. Like somebody tried to say Joe Rogan, but I'm like, nigga,
No, Joe Rogan was fair. He was a
UFC.
comedian.
I know
Fear
they were
Factor.
unaware of his past.
UFC, like
A lot of people were unaware of
that,
How old were they?
Like 27.
Okay, yeah, so they never seen Fear Factor.
Yeah, they were unaware of his
Nigga,
past.
I'm 27.
I was gonna say 27-year-olds don't know Fear
I'm about to
Factor?
say,
Yeah,
nigga.
we know Fear Factor.
There's some of
That's
them who
what I was
don't know Fear Factor.
Maybe they didn't watch it till Ludacris was on it. I don't know.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's
Ludacris
crazy.
my dog, but
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Hey, you heard Kat talk about that meeting?
Some niggas don't even know that Joe Rogan is a comedian though.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't know that
yeah,
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
They just know him from UFC and the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta think. Some niggas don't know. But you also have to, that's also what's an attest to how much them niggas hustling, they be moving.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to he wasn't as widely known until his podcast and all that. He wasn't
This
as
is his
widely
most
known.
fame.
Yeah.
That is facts.
Yeah.
The
That's
most fame came from the pod.
That is
Yep.
facts.
Which is
That's not
crazy.
his claim
'cause
to fame, but it's his highest. It's what's yielded him his highest reach, his largest reach.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
talking about licking toads and
Shit.
doing DMT.
Shannon Sharp is on that same boat.
This is true.
Yeah.
Unc Shay.
He's in what same boat as what?
Joe Rogan.
You
Unc Shay
think?
played.
This is his most fame. Yes, nigga. Club
Yeah.
Shay Shay has put that nigga in a whole nother atmosphere.
Facts.
Even apart from him being a sports analysis with Skip.
And before he
Nice.
had the
Hey, now.
sports shit, he was a Hall of Fame tight end.
And before
Yes,
even
sir.
being in the NFL, yeah.
See, I know.
And his story is really crazy too, because he used to be really, really insecure about his speech impediment.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like gotten comfortable with just
To the point
talking.
that now he's here.
That's why he was
Yeah.
yelling at Skip Bayless.
Yep.
No, Skip Bayless
No,
just like
Skip
somebody
was-
niggas
Skip
don't
was
want to work
being-
with. Yeah,
No,
he's a
over the
dick.
top. Facts.
Yeah,
Skip. No, Skip. Come on, Skip. Now, come on now, Skip.
But yeah,
That's how I know him. I know him from Sports Center. I never knew he played football.
yeah, Hall of Fame tight end.
Did y'all know that Doc Rivers is in like Milwaukee or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's fucking it up.
And he's fucking it up.
Like doing a good job?
Horrible job.
No, he's in the opposite.
And I love
Terrible.
it because guess what? That's what Milwaukee ass get for complaining to the NBA and having Dame go to Milwaukee instead of Miami.
Damn. Dame Lillard? Dame Dollar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dame was supposed to go to Miami that last offseason.
Oh,
Well, this is beside the point. Yeah. That just was something I was at the barbershop. I'm like, this nigga's in Milwaukee?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it threw me on.
Giannis.
But yeah, Malcolm said, answer your question though. Yeah.
There's no one you can think of.
Can't think of nobody, bro.
We need to find that group.
Okay.
do they exist?
I feel like it kind of has to.
Do it?
It would have to be people who are independent, who are starting their own shit.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Do you think so? You think
Facts.
We literally cannot sit here and name one person that has a high platform that wasn't doing something besides before podcasting.
so? Yeah, we can, but I don't think that means it doesn't exist. I feel like there may be some people out there that
That's true, but
that we're not privy to that maybe produces content that's nowhere near our world.
Because I was gonna say I know a few, but they're all sex podcasts. So
that's still a podcast.
okay, yeah, I got like 3
that were nothing until the pod. Like the pod is what they started with.
Pod is what they started with. Yeah.
So they weren't like in porn or anything, or like sex therapists, or so what makes them qualified to talk about sex?
They probably have sex.
Right.
I mean, but like, is it
They've
good?
done the research.
Is it good sex?
I mean, that's like saying nigga, what? You don't have to be good at your experience to be qualified to talk about it.
You don't?
A lot
it's
of
kind
people
of like niggas be having 10 years experience
nigga,
at their
look at our
job.
presidents.
Terrible employees.
I was gonna say, look at the government. None of them niggas are good at their
Presidents
job,
and
but
a
they
nigga's
got
stroke game is two different things, though.
Nigga, we're talking about experience of the
barely.
job.
barely. Yo,
They fuck the country.
How do you
That person
How do
fucking
you
the
use
bitch.
your soldiers?
that's a fact. Hey,
They march,
hey,
right?
That's a fact.
You command them.
You command.
What you
them.
doing sex?
Fucking a bitch good and running a country well are in the same boat.
Yo.
They're the same ballpark.
Yo.
Come on now.
That's why America's so fucked up.
No pun
America ain't
intended.
been fucked good.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. That's a bar.
Ain't been fucked good since niggas was picking cotton.
You gotta hit the either button for that one.
But
Yeah, who are they? Who's the people?
Yeah,
What you got, Jay?
So I got horrible decisions. I got
Horrible decisions. Who that?
Oh, they
Horrible
don't
decisions.
count. They don't count.
Why don't they count?
Cause they, bro.
Why don't they count?
Who are they?
Who I want to say was that man? Is it? It's Mandy and who's the other one?
Mandy and Wheezy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are they?
Literally before the pod, they
just existed?
They didn't really. They just existed.
This is what we're talking about. Then they count.
Mandy B is an award-winning best-selling author.
What? Now?
And she was a life and leadership coach for a company called Rayma Team.
When was this?
She's a founder of
Holy
it,
shit!
a co-founder of it.
What?
Yeah, I feel like, man, I don't know what she was doing, but she was in the no before she started podcasting.
Okay, I didn't know.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's the next one you got?
This is girl. Her name is Kiki. Her podcast is called Kinks with Kiki.
Kiki Palmer?
No.
No.
Are these like mainstream podcasts besides Horrible Decisions, or are these like?
Nah, Kinks with Kiki is not really mainstream like
Okay.
that. Kinks with
Okay.
Kiki, yeah.
That's one we can write down.
She wasn't doing nothing. She wasn't an author. She wasn't a.
No.
Okay.
All right.
And I say, I'm not sure about cocktails. I ain't gonna lie.
Cocktails.
That sounds familiar.
I feel like I've heard that before.
It's Medina and fuck. What's
Who
her
the
name?
fuck is Medina?
Hold up. It's Kiki and Medina. It's a completely different Kiki though.
Okay. So there's two Kikis and a
It's two
Medina.
Kikis. Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to this Kinks with Kiki.
That boy gonna learn so much about kinks. It's crazy. He's gonna come back and be like,
Well, yeah, no.
I could have my own kink podcast.
I could too.
make it happen.
Jalen, you want to co-host with me?
Don't say that shit.
Yo.
Don't say that. No, because they're gonna call me to engineer, and I don't need that. I don't need to do that.
Wait, so after you spit on the back,
I'm calling a nigga I know the engineer. Fuck that. I'm not sitting there for 2 hours listening to this
you
shit.
have AI editing our
Okay,
shit.
I'm gonna have an AI edit this shit. Fuck.
That's funny.
We're not doing that.
But yeah, Malcolm. I don't think I personally can't think of any. JR named a few.
Then you got I mean, I can go on because
Yeah, everybody I know started from something.
Tahoe, Dodge, and oh, you don't know? Okay. So it's a podcast called
There's so many podcasts. This is crazy.
There's a white guy who does like financial.
So Shameless.
Oh, go ahead.
No, the So Shameless podcast.
What is it?
So Shameless.
So shameless.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say there's this white guy that like does like financial advisory stuff, like to help you, get on track with your credit and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And his podcast is booming, but I think he started making TikToks and shit about finances, and that's what
Led him to a
took him over the
podcast.
hump. And then he started, but his podcast is kind of fire though, because he brings like people in who make horrible financial decisions and just makes them feel stupid. You know what I'm talking about? The young white dude with the glasses.
Yeah.
So these are a few people that people are saying 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Roman Mars, don't know who that is.
Don't know what that is.
Joseph Fink, don't know who that is. Jeffrey Craner, don't know who that is, and the rest of the Night Vale crew.
The Night Vale, yeah.
Night Vale sounds
nothing against y'all. I just haven't heard
but I
of y'all
can't.
before.
Yeah, I never heard.
I'm not familiar with them either.
But podcasting is also something that's like huge. So
And it's also fairly new.
Yeah,
Still a young industry, but it's a very, very, very lucrative one if you know how to use it.
But we still got to put a restriction on niggas that can get podcast mics because this shit's ridiculous.
Not everybody needs one.
Not everybody needs one.
So let me ask y'all this, because I was having this conversation with Mark Montana, and he was
put a pin in that. By the way,
he was saying that he feels like podcasting has peaked. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I don't think it's peaked. I just think it's oversaturated. But I think within like the next like 10 to 15 years, it's going to like even out, and the niggas who's like really about it is going to be here, and the niggas who was just looking for a bag is going to filter themselves out. Speaking particularly to like the rush of like celebrity podcast,
bruv,
like that's going to not be lucrative because it's going to get to a point where it's like, okay, I don't care what this nigga has to say.
I don't think that's true. I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of famous people. Mind you, I didn't say celebrity. Famous people. There's a lot of people who are known and famous that can easily, once they doing whatever they're doing, whether it's just public, just anything they doing, period. After they're done doing what they doing, they're going to have their fans or anybody that's even interested in things of that nature and hearing yesteryear stories and shit like that from whatever industry they in. If they start a podcast, they going to have an audience to tune
I guess
in.
my thing is like, what happens when the audience like stops caring, or you don't have anything else to talk about, or like whatever it is that made you pop, like that cup runs out.
Well, let me kind of piggyback. Let me answer your question by piggybacking off what T-Rose said.
Okay.
I could see it being something like, let's use Talking Sopranos for an example.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what that is, JR?
I do.
It's a podcast about Sopranos.
So now
With
there
two actors,
is there's going to forever be a new generation of people who've just now discovering and getting into the Sopranos, who become fans of these people, who then goes be like, oh, there's a Talking Sopranos podcast. Let me check that out.
Yeah.
I think The Sopranos though, that's like one of them like shows over.
That was just an example though.
Okay.
There's going to always be people who has never heard a famous rapper's album who checks it out, becomes a diehard fan of them, and then be like, oh, they have a podcast now? Let me check that out.
All right, here. Let me throw one out there.
Go ahead.
What I'm speaking to, where I feel like these type of niggas is not going to translate. And this is no shade. It's just what it is and how I view it. If Young Buck comes out with a podcast tomorrow and it's like, yeah, this is the Life of Young Buck podcast and my time on G Unit. It's gonna be on fire. He starts telling some stories and shit, and starts getting into
his perspective,
what he likes and his perspective. And that's all I'm gonna say.
All right. You funny.
And after that though, like once that cup runs out,
then what?
I mean, that's just what it is.
No, and I think that's exactly why like platforms like Drink Champs are where they are, because there's no way. There's a ton of stories like an artist or a celebrity can tell, but after a while, it's kind of like, okay, and you know what I'm saying? And they go to Drink Champs and they pretty much put all that out there. You know what I'm saying? All in one go, digestible, so that way, like you don't have to keep coming back and be like, oh well, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, so
but what do you mean? What do you mean? So what? And you mean like no one's gonna want to hear the legend stories anymore?
Like once you've heard. In certain cases, once you've heard one, you've heard them all. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, okay, well, I know exactly what kind of life you live, so this is just one of those, you know what I mean? Like,
I see what you mean, but I think
a lot of podcast listeners are like that too.
I disagree with that though, because they could have it could take 20 years for Drink Champs to get my favorite legend on their show.
Okay.
Yeah. And that can go for millions of people.
Yeah.
Like they might have had, like there might be a million people out there who they've already had their favorite person ever on Drink Champs and they stopped listening to them. But like they haven't even had Missy Elliott on yet.
Come on now. Come on now.
That's true.
So it's like there's always gonna, and then as time goes on, there's always gonna be new legends who deserve their flowers.
Exactly.
That people grew up with and they're their favorite, who want to hear, and they want to hear their story specifically.
Them kind of podcast is a revolving door.
As a former fan of Drink Champs, there's hella episodes of people I didn't give a fuck about and I didn't watch.
That's a fact.
But me growing up and ingratiated in hip hop culture so deeply, there are a bunch of guests where I'm like, I fuck with this. Or in this episodes I watched where I was like, damn, I didn't even know I was really interested in this nigga story. So I just do I push back on that.
Oh no,
but
by all means.
Like for example, Sammy the Bull's podcast.
I was gonna say that earlier.
He did a podcast talking about his whole life from the time he was born and grew up all the way until he left the mafia and went back to prison for 22 years. So that was a finite amount of time that he could have that podcast for. I think it lasted for 4, maybe 5 seasons.
Right.
It's really fucking good though. There's always going to be new people. Even though this podcast can't create new content, there's always going to be new people coming up interested in the mafia genre who discover that podcast.
Okay, time out. Malcolm, let me pick a bear over that real quick. Now, I do agree with you on that point. If you're putting it out in that format, where it's almost like an audiobook vibe or like
autobiography kind of things,
like in podcast form,
but you're doing it in podcast form, yeah.
That's a lick. I'm with that. I've seen a few people. A lot of the crime, true crime genre is on that wave, and it's very lucrative because, like you said, there's gonna be millions of niggas who hear about the story and pass and see it on YouTube or see it on TikTok or whatever. Go down rabbit holes and discover that episode, and before you know it, you got a bag.
And then like. It's like, not to like put this out there, this energy out there in the universe, but just keep using Sammy as an example. When he passes away, them numbers gonna spike again. Niggas gonna go back, like his fans are gonna go back and run that shit all the way through again.
Literally, he's gonna have a whole new
like
surge.
With albums.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a crazy good storyteller. It's ridiculous. Like I know his entire story, front, back, middle, sideways, left, and right. And I've listened to his podcast 3 times, every episode.
I see. I want to make a point on that right there.
Go ahead.
Because I think that's a part of it too. Is
your skill?
Just having the podcast is one thing, but being able to tell those stories correctly and tell them where like it makes people want to listen more. That's a whole different ballgame. Because certain people are not great storytellers.
I was about to say that's just them being good at the craft. Being good at the skill.
So it's like that's what keeps the people.
Agree.
If you can't tell a good story,
everybody can't do this shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're right.
And that is why I did not rebuttal Jalen saying oversaturated. Normally, I don't believe in oversaturation. When the product is good, oversaturation is only a good thing when you have subpar product.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna complain about the best dope on the streets. Nobody's gonna complain about a new fire album. Nobody's gonna complain about the best movie you've ever seen.
The only niggas that are gonna complain in that is the niggas who can't access all the good shit. It's like being somewhere. It's like going as a kid, going in a candy store and ain't got no money. You got all this greatness around you, but you can't access it. That's the only way.
Though. Even them niggas don't rip it. They don't complain about it. They're gonna steal it. They're gonna
but they're gonna have a disgruntlement before they get to that mentality of I'm gonna steal it. They're gonna have a disgruntlement. They gotta go through that first.
You're right.
But also, it's like not everybody's gonna have that animal in them. You know
that is another thing too. Some niggas might just be like, damn, I can't even get it.
And then go to the bootleg guy.
Getting bootleg candy from a bootleg guy is crazy.
No, that's
getting cat.
No, it's not.
We're not talking about.
No, it's not crazy.
Getting cat kicks is
not
nuts.
crazy.
Bootleg candy, not bootleg candy, but getting candy from the bootleg guy. You know how many times a day came in the barbershop, nigga, and be cleaned up?
No. That is one thing, but getting bootleg candy.
Yeah, I've never seen bootleg candy.
That's like a busted nut bar,
huh?
A busted nut bar.
A busted nut bar.
Is that just like
the Mr. Good?
Yeah, is that just like
Mr. Good
like dollar store candy or like Aldi brand candy like that? Like that's
Is that a
like
tire?
it's.
Yeah,
Save a lot
like
candy.
If you got Sprite,
Fruitios versus Fruit Loops with candy.
Got you. Okay.
Yes.
Like Snackers and not a
Do
Snickers.
anybody know what them strawberry candies are that your grandma had in the purse in church? Do anybody know?
The ones that actually look like strawberries on the wrapper?
I don't know.
Oh, you smell like
I don't know
what the Lifesaver brand?
Nah, I didn't like it.
No, see, you named the brand. Don't nobody know the brand of this. This is just the strawberry wrapper.
Look, the strawberry wrapper.
How are these niggas still in business?
Bro, grandmas had that shit on.
Don't know who, I don't know who they are.
Baby.
Don't know who they are.
We got on the tangent though. Back to the podcast. But now, my rebuttal to podcasting not peaking was a whole different realm than the content. My rebuttal was accessibility, notoriety, and the way it's intertwined into society. Like when we look at media, things like that, every form of media you can go to college and get a degree in. You can't go to college and get a degree in podcasting yet.
That's a fact.
So that's
It's coming though.
To me, that's exactly.
They throw it under
That's a
TV.
clear indication of it not peaking yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they throw it in. They throw that under TV, television, and media.
I've yet to see an episode of Family Guy or South Park or anything like that where they're doing a podcast.
I think South Park might have a
South Park might have
Granted,
done that.
niggas, I haven't watched
personally
that.
have yet to see it.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Okay.
I ain't watched no recent episodes
So
of
as
these
of right
shits.
now, I'm not aware of if that's a thing or not. If that is, comment below. Tell me I'm fucking wrong and link me to it. But these type of things will like once these type of things start happening and becoming a thing, like there hasn't been a TV show about podcasting yet either. Like a Netflix show about podcasting.
So are you saying when it becomes
there was
normalized is when it's peak? Is that what you're saying, Malcolm?
There was a small stint, or like a small like little scene in Abbott Elementary where they were doing a podcast.
Yep. But
So
I mean, like,
but based around podcasting. Yeah.
So I'm asking Malcolm, that for you, that would equate to it be like when it's normalized?
yeah, because podcasting is a form of media, education, entertainment, all that. It's a form of media outplay. So when it's now when it's regulated by a certain system, and when it's normalized as far as depicting it, then I could see somebody looking at all those factors and be like, yeah, podcast has peaked.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did see a short film called The Murder Podcast. That's actually pretty funny.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You seen it
It's
before?
it's that couple that has a murder podcast and they go out like trying to figure it out. Not figure it out, but I think I know what you're talking about. They end up actually having to do the murders themselves to talk about it.
No.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
shit.
That sounds lit though. What's
Hey,
that
shut
called?
good.
up. Don't even say
Hold on.
nothing.
Yeah.
Don't even say
What's it
nothing.
called?
Because ain't nobody make that.
JR?
Hold on.
I'm gonna make it.
Hold on.
Why should I get to the
I
crib?
think what I'm talking about is on Amazon. But no, it's not a couple. It's two guys. Well, they're not gay.
They Chi men.
Chichi Man. Chichi Man.
They had a ramen noodle podcast first and it didn't work.
A ramen noodle.
Where they talked about different flavors of ramen noodles.
I think that's like the first rule of podcasting. You have to have one that doesn't work first.
That's like a unspoken rule.
Yeah.
Is it?
Okay. That's my way.
I was about to say, nigga, that's
Malcolm,
not
can you-
true because
Malcolm,
this is
can you-
my first podcast.
Well, Malcolm,
Huh?
can you?
No, it ain't.
This is my first podcast. So what you mean?
That's why I said that.
Damn,
I'll
Malcolm,
back you
shut
up,
up.
Jalen. No, it ain't.
Damn.
It's probably still. No, it ain't. He probably did. He probably made it to a fake fan page. Shut
up.
All right, my bad.
Definitely is a fake fan page.
Sorry, y'all. All right.
Am I
Let me
wrong?
chill. 'Cause I'm gonna start going for real. I'm gonna start going crazy. So let me chill.
But yeah, so
If you want all things, never mind. Let me start.
all things beige thoughts.
Page thoughts.
Type it.
I think this was
New page thoughts.
Y'all gotta chill.
Jesus
New
Christ.
beige thoughts.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just
What the?
I seen a nigga on the subway looking at this is podcast, is a conversation, but I seen a nigga on the subway in New York playing with that Vision Pro. And I'm like, that's gonna set niggas up to get robbed.
I said, hey, listen.
Because that shit is a used car. That shit is $3,500.
If you, it ain't even about Apple Care.
no dead ass. Apple Care. You
Listen.
can get a brand new one and somebody steal your shit.
Hey, listen.
Girl.
Yes,
nigga.
that's what Apple Care is for.
You don't know what Apple Care is?
Yes.
I thought it was only if you broke it.
It's insurance for your phone, theft, stolen, loss.
Yeah. The
Oh,
only thing
shit.
they don't cover
Hey,
is water
listen.
damage.
Listen,
Oh shit.
listen.
Okay.
Apple Care can replace the device. Apple Care can't replace your life.
But if you just give it up, you know you got your Apple Care.
Some people, just because you give it up don't mean they're not gonna kill you.
Facts.
Yeah, but I mean, they just wanted to kill you.
Yeah, I'm about to say he just should have killed you.
There's nothing you could have did about it at that point. He just wanted to kill you.
Yeah.
Would y'all bring that in public though? If y'all,
Listen,
I think that's something I would want to enjoy in the comfort of my home.
I mean, it
Exactly.
depends on how you use it. Because the guy on the I was
He
told
was
that the
doing
guy on the
emails or
subway
some shit.
was working.
Yeah, I heard.
You can work. Like
So-
I've seen people do they
It's just like work. It's like,
you
it's
can-
like taking your $3,000 laptop in public and working.
Exactly.
ooh,
That's
Same
just
shit.
more normalized. That's it.
it is more normal.
The laptop is just more. This is a brand new. This that actually is
That's
something
like
that I
saying
had
when you
my
walk around with a
top.
Rolex on your wrist. Niggas can steal that too.
Somebody
Exactly.
posted a screen recording on Twitter and they were like had like different Forex pages up, like doing stocks and shit.
Yeah.
Watching the game on this screen, listening to some music on this screen.
So does it just project it into the world?
yeah.
Okay.
You just literally are just
It's
looking around.
actually just like the fucking metaverse VR goggles that
Oculus.
are already out,
the Oculus joint. Yo,
Yeah.
which is crazy that people are This is a test to the branding and to normalization and how niggas view things, just because of familiarity and comfortability. Go back to that.
People trust Apple with stuff like this.
That's what I was getting at. Like, niggas will see this and see that Apple and be like, oh, surefire. I mean, nigga, that Meta shit dropped and it was just
flaming that shit for weeks.
It was a lot of niggas joking about it. It was a lot of niggas bashing it, but it was also a lot of niggas like talking about the same topics that they're talking about with this when they see a bunch of people out with them. As how like, oh, it's starting. It being
the takeover,
the VR takeover of everybody.
But I feel the distrust and the slander with the metaverse stuff came from that was too soon of an announcement after the rebranding of Facebook into Meta.
Yep.
Okay.
And they didn't even fully commit to the rebrand.
They didn't.
That's where the iffiness about the Meta stuff comes from.
And that's fair.
To this day, people don't even know what Meta is.
That's fair. And Facebook, if you look, Mark and Facebook have a history of not having all their shit together before pushing shit out.
Yep. Look at Threads.
But that's a part of their formula, and it seems to work well with them. They're okay with
taking risk and failing in front of everybody.
Yeah, they're okay with updating shit in front of your face.
Yeah. That's a life lesson.
Yeah. But that's the difference between software versus hardware. With Apple, you can't do that.
Yep.
When you have hardware, you give out faulty hardware, you got to do recalls. You got to do.
That is a fact.
Yeah, that's a bunch of shit that comes with that.
That is also something that plays into it as well.
Apple's
you can go update
source.
your servers. Right. You can go recode a website real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I just wanted to have that conversation about podcasting and see what
that was going to lead me to a whole nother conversation, but we can say that.
Yeah.
We can say that.
Because listen, I am not going anywhere. Listen.
How much is that motherfucker? 3,500? Yeah, that's what I figured.
I'm not wearing 3,500 on my face. Pause. But it's like, bro.
A decent used car too. Nigga, you can get you a Camry with that shit.
Yo. That ain't even a camera.
No, he said a Camry.
I know what you said.
Because I was gonna say, yo, if I'm shelling out $4 for that, like, bro, let me get myself like a couple film cameras and some film, bro. Like,
let me gonna get a Sony FX3.
Listen,
but that ain't enough money though.
It ain't even no telling.
Hey, look, a Black Magic
for sure. But ain't no telling how much that Apple Care is either.
That's what I was thinking about too. How much is the Apple Care for that shit?
Because that shit 30.
500.
I was just gonna say it's probably somewhere in that few hundred.
And the craziest part is with that 500, instead of getting Apple Care for that, you could just go ahead and get the Apple headphones,
the Mac, the Pros, Maxes or whatever,
the AirPods Pro.
Points are made, but that ain't VR. But yeah, that's it.
Right, yeah, well,
that's definitely.
Just want to have that quick convo. That was
not
JR.
so quick convo.
I'm T Rose. That's Jay Manley. That's Malcolm.
Yeah.
We out.
Peace.